Welcome to Overtime the Podcast, a show dedicated to all things watches, with a special love for micro brands and their affordable range. I'm your host Praka, and some of you might know me as Kinda Average Watches. Join me as we explore new releases, share tips on building your collection, and put in some overtime with hands-on reviews of the latest watches. Whether you're a bit of a pro or you're just getting into the hobby, this podcast will keep you entertained with great stories from the people in the industry, casual conversations, and guest hosts who bring their own unique perspectives. Let's get started. Welcome to Overtime the Podcast, proudly sponsored by Watchpoint. All right, today I have not one, not two, but three very special guests on the show to celebrate the launch of a limited edition piece called the Dewey. I believe that's how you say it. I'll get clarification in a minute, which is a collaboration between a Hong Kong-based collectors group, Watch Co. and Selten Watch Company. The watch also features a prominent watch strap maker, Has No Bounds. Welcome to the show, Jackie, Leo, and Kristine. How you guys going?
Hey, Praka, how are you? Thanks for having us. It's an honor.
Thanks for coming on. How you guys going?
Yeah, we're good. And again, yeah, thank you for having
Thank you
us
for
to
having
have this
us.
podcast with you and amazing. Yeah.
It's a
No,
pleasure.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Did I say your name right? Is it Kristine?
Yes, Kristine. That's correct.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I don't want to get people's
And
names wrong.
it was a pretty good attempt at the pronunciation of the name of the watch. So it's Joy. So it's Joy.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
Correct.
exactly. Joy.
Joy.
So
Joy.
it's kind of sounds like joy, but with a
Okay.
U.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect, Praka. Well
Okay.
done. Fluent,
Awesome.
fluent in Cantonese in no time by the end of this podcast.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. All
Yeah.
right. Awesome. Well, look, before we get on with the podcast, we always do our wrist checks. So I'll start off with Kristine. What have you got on your wrist?
So I'm wearing the M1 Moonphase with the Avengering dial.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Of course, with my leather strap. It's a black, a snowbound made, handcrafted leather straps.
Very nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. And yourself, Leo?
Today I'm wearing a Cartier tank with the column dial, which is a gift from my wife, Kristine here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's his birthday gift last year, I
Yeah.
believe.
That's
Yeah.
that's a fantastic gift. Yeah, nice, nice. Is that a column dial? I don't think I've
Yeah,
seen that one
column
before.
dial. Yeah.
Oh
Which
yes, yes, yes. The tank, fantastic. Very nice, very nice. I actually picked up a Cartier tank not too long ago as well, but it's just the classic one, so not as unique as that one. Fantastic. And last but not least, Jackie, what have you got, mate?
Well, of course, I'm wearing the Joy, which is due to be released on the 13th of August.
Fantastic.
So I'm really, really excited about that. And I believe, Praka, you're wearing the same.
Sure am. Thank you so much, team, for for sending this over so I can check it out. And I've had it on my wrist for the last couple of days. It has been raining cats and dogs on
hmm.
Saturday. So aside from Saturday when I was out all day, so as soon as I came back on, I put it back on because I didn't want to ruin the beautiful leather strap that I've got on here. Look, we're obviously going to talk about this watch throughout this whole episode, but I must say I'm really enjoying the wearing experience of this. It is a beautiful dial. The CNC guilloché and the Tahitian black mother of pearl is just something different. It's nothing like I've seen before. I've seen black mother of pearl dials, but I haven't seen it like this before. So I've got to give you guys props for that. But obviously, there's so much more that goes into this. So I won't keep talking about it. I'll let you all tell me about it. So now that we've got the wrist checks out of the way, let's just get straight into the question, shall we?
Hmm.
Cool. So first of all, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Like it's fantastic to have, so not only a great micro brand, Selten to join, and also fantastic enthusiast community as well, Watch Co. and Strap Maker, all at the same time. I'm spoilt, and the listeners, I'm sure, are spoilt as well. So look, for those of our listeners and anyone else that's listening as well who's not quite familiar with your, I appreciate if each of you can give us a quick who you are, what you do, and how did you get to where you are in your respective positions. I'll start off with Jackie first this time.
So we start up. So it's a 2 year anniversary coming up for Watch Co. We're a collector enthusiast community here based in Hong Kong. We kind of started during the pandemic, where a few of us kind of gathered together under restrictions, and there wasn't that much to do. And it kind of just started from there. It grew and grew, and now we're coming up to our 2 year anniversary, and we're coming up around 350 members.
Wow.
And while we're primarily based in Hong Kong, we have other friends, members, and supporters, throughout the world as well. So we're really excited to be launching this watch with Selten. It's been in the works since last Christmas, so a good 8.5 months. And it's been a lot of work, but thoroughly enjoyable process. A lot of sleepless nights, especially for Leo and Kristine. But yeah, I think the finishing line is in sight, and we're really excited for the launch next week.
Fantastic. Awesome. And yourself, Leo, Christine, how'd you guys get to where you are now with with yourself with Selton and with yourself with Has No Bounds as well, Christine?
Okay, yeah. So hello all. My name is Leo, founder of Selten, a micro brand from Hong Kong. So I was in finance, and after my graduation, I was working for JP Morgan. But it didn't take me long to realize that wasn't a career for me to pursue because I couldn't imagine myself sitting in the office for the next 30, 40 years. So I quit and I took some time off to think about what I really want to do next. And looking back, I think the answer was always there. Because I remember when growing up, I was surrounded by a lot of like watch dial. Because my parents run a dial making factory, and for over like 30 years now. And I often, tag along with them to their office and just to offer like voluntarily to offer to do some simple tasks, like like counting the dials. So I think that is the time that when my passion first took root, I guess. So, because looking back, I think I really want to do something like this kind of like with the watch design. With when I counting the dial, I imagine what would I create a watch dial like in the future. And I think and this pretty much how I started on my early fascination with the watchmaking. For the watch brand. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. And yourself, Christine?
So for me, I had nothing to do with watches. I was in furniture, so I worked for a furniture design company.
Okay.
I was there for over a decade, and then Leo obviously got me into watches. Like witnessing what he's been doing, it was fun to watch. And then not until like he was about to launch his first model, the series 00. So at the time he had difficulty, finding good straps
Yeah.
for watches. So we were like, why don't we make our own? So because I was in upholstery design specifically, so I know I had a good knowledge based on the leather.
Mhm.
So I started has no bounds. But the mission and the purpose at the beginning was just to support his, watch
Yeah.
brands. Later on, I quit my furniture job, and then I work alongside with Leo in Selton as well.
That's awesome. I don't think I've heard that sort of, furniture upholstery to making watch straps, but I love it. I love I love that you pivoted to this, and I think we're all happy for that. Fantastic. All right, cool. That's a great little tidbit. So everyone's got a little bit of a flavor, a bit of a base on what you guys do and how you got to here. So of course, I have to ask, how did this special collaboration come together? So, Jackie, was it a natural fit for you to partner with Selton for your second anniversary?
How did this come about? So we were introduced by a mutual friend, a good mutual friend,
Hmm.
Justin, and then also Daniel too. And we didn't really get together that much at the start. I think the guys were busy with their own launches. I was very busy with my own club, but we knew of each other. We kept in contact, and it was actually Daniel who introduced us again about 10 months ago or so, and told me, hey, you should really meet up with Leo and Kristine again. They're doing really, really good things. They show me what's in the pipeline, and it's really interesting. And I think you'll be really interested. So for me, that's someone that's really interested or attracted to special dials, anything that's handcraft, anything that's unique. Because for me, the dial is the, the majority of what attracts me to a watch, right?
Mm.
So we got together, we met up before Christmas. They actually came to our Christmas GDG. It was it was the end of year celebration. We had 100 plus people there.
Nice.
They came and we had a brief chat, and they showed me some of their watches and stuff. And yeah, and then from then on, we had several meetings, and they told me about this very special project that they were doing, which is CNC guilloché on MOP, right? So, like you, I've rarely ever seen guilloché on MOP. I think I've seen it on Genta. I think I've seen it on Daniel Roth, maybe one or two brands, but it wasn't something that's very common at all. Understandably, why? Because of the brittle nature of MOP, right?
Mm.
So when they showed me this, I was really fascinated. So they already had come out with the Moonphase model, which was CNC guilloché too. So we talked about different designs and everything else, and we finally came to agreement that it would be a time-only design. And it was a very natural partnership or collaboration together because, my club, my community is based here in Hong Kong. I'm a Hong Konger. So are Kristine and Leo, and they're doing really, really interesting and really niche things for a microbrand, because microbrand can sometimes pigeonhole themselves as just, a value proposition, and they think they can, just sell watches because they're cheap, but actually don't put that much detail and thought into the actual design. There's not much quality, there's not much finishing. But I think Selten are very different. They focus, because I think with the background of Leo in dial manufacturing, he's a very good knowledge and very good eye for things like this. So he can see what's possible and really pushing the boundaries. And for this collaboration with them, we've really pushed the boundary, I think, in my opinion. So yeah, like I said, it hasn't been easy. Designing something like this is never easy, and especially I think I've got, I'm sure the guys will agree, I've got, very high standards when I collab with someone. And, I expect a lot from our club and community, and to put out a watch in our name and to collab with someone else. I always think that if I'm receiving that watch, or if I'm going to buy that watch from a collab watch from a different community, what would I expect? What would I want? What would I like to see on my wrist? And that's why, we've taken our time with the design. We've taken our time with all the subtle details, as you can see when you're wearing it, and you've read about in the press release too, that it all comes together. It's very organic, but yet it's subtle, and you can see it all come together when you wear the watch for a period of time. You don't see all these elements the moment you wear the watch. You see the dial, of course. You see the pattern, but there's all subtle details that I'm sure we'll go into soon that all come together the longer you wear the watch. And I think, I'm not sure for you, Praka, but I'm sure you appreciate the watch more than you did the first time you saw it, and also the first time you wore it on your wrist, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that's what we're trying to achieve, and I hope everyone else or whoever buys it and wears it feels the same way too. And if only a small percentage of people feel that way, then I think we're going to be really, really happy, because at the end of the day, we're all collectors, we're all enthusiasts at heart. You know, our club, our community, we don't run it for profit. It's a passion, community-based driven club, and so we're always happy and eager to collab with interesting brands. So to answer your question, yes, it was a very natural an organic fit to partner with Kristine and Leo.
It's amazing, really well put. And I will say one thing before I pass it on over to Christine and Leo is I completely agree with that sentiment. I'm going to say it's like a slow burn, but not in a
Hmm.
bad way at all.
Hmm.
Pulled it out of the leather case and I went, wow, this is beautiful. And then I put it on my wrist. And then later on I went, oh wow, this is really beautiful. So yeah, it creeps up on you
Hmm.
in the best possible way. It's stunning.
Thank you.
And yourself, obviously you approached and you guys met and this happened. So obviously you mentioned Jackie is someone that demands the best for his club and for the brand that he's putting out there. How was this process for you too?
So, well, obviously, I think like Jackie, I feel like Jackie and Leo, they are quite, they both have very high standards because, so from my point of view, they were very like specific and they were very like, looking at the details and then they were like, they want things to be done right.
Yeah.
And obviously it felt like a quite a natural fit for both parties to work together on this one. And then we're very grateful for Jackie to give us this opportunity to, work on this work on this joy, especially on his, second year anniversary of the club. And as a Hong Kong-based micro brand, we are honored and we're really happy and then excited to work on this project together. So I guess from the first day that we agreed on working together, it didn't take us long to pick the pattern that we want to go with. So the dial pattern actually is based on a body armor worn by the ancient Chinese soldier. So that's where we draw the inspiration from on the dial from. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, when I first know about like Jackie
Mm.
as the yeah, as known as Watcho and was introduced by like
Daniel?
Jackie, yeah, mutual friend Daniel, and I wasn't really sure about how he looks because before all that, when he created the Watcho and Co, I followed him for quite a while, and most of the time he just hide his faces and that's all I remember back then. And we are really glad that we finally able to meet him in person in Singapore during the watch fair called I Am Watch. Yeah. And that's how we finally first meet, connected with him. And when we started working together, and like Christine said, we are both very detail oriented, and we want to pursue for like the best possible quality that we could do at our own measures. So at all costs, because I feel like when we create a product and the profit isn't really the of course is the one of the purpose that we want to go for, but that's
Sure.
not the main reason. We want to create a watch that we all both party are really happy about and would be able to shine in front of like the audience who would able to appreciate it or not. So I really feel like this is all about this collaboration. Yeah.
That's special.
Yeah, and I,
That's
and I just want to add too there about Leo's point. Like we could have charged more for this watch, but we were both insistent that we want to make it accessible as possible. We didn't put profit first, and we put community first. We put people first, which is what my club is about, and is what Selten is about too. Is that we want to represent a very unique, interesting, and quality product from Hong Kong, from both the brand and also a club and community as well. So I think the price is more than fair for the watch itself, for all the elements put together. And I think it's one that if you like it, it's very easy to support. I think people will be quite surprised about at the price point that we're charging and that it's not more. But we were insistent that it should be a watch for everyone. It's a second year anniversary watch, so anyone that wants to buy it, that wants to support it, should be able to get it. It should be within their means, relatively speaking. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's one really for the community and also to be part of our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, no, I was gonna bring that up later about the price, but I'll say, you know what, we'll save it till the end. We'll save it till the end when we talk about where
Sure,
to get
sure,
it.
sure, sure.
Where
Exactly.
where can people
Yeah, keep
pre-order it?
keep keep listening to the end.
That's it. That's it. But definitely, we're gonna go through everything, and by the end, you're gonna be like, wow, that this is value packed, and we're not always here to talk about value proposition. It's more than that. It's about the art. It's about everything else that goes into it. But it is also a good value proposition. So, all right. We'll move on to the next one then. We spoke about obviously how this all came together, but let's talk about the watch itself. Okay, so like I mentioned before, the first
Sure.
thing that caught my eye was the the leather case. Funny enough, I opened the box and I was like, oh, this is a beautiful case. You don't normally see watches in that sort of leather case, so I assume this was also your handiwork, Christine. It was really well done. And obviously the next thing is the dial, the Tahitian black mother of pearl with that intricate pattern, the CNC guilloché pattern. And you've stated that the inspiration behind this dial is a Chinese armor. So I would love for you guys to go into it a little bit more. So how, what does it all mean, and how did you pick this to be what inspired you for this watch?
So, like Christine said, yeah, it's inspired by ancient China and what soldiers wore as body armor, which the pattern as we know it today is called the mountain pattern. So if you see in the dial, there's a repeated pattern on the dial. And so what that means to us, each pattern there represents me, you, and anyone who likes collecting watches or is into horology. And as you can see from the pattern, they're all linked and connected together. Just like us, we are now. Just like you're in Perth, the guys are in mainland China, I'm here in Hong Kong, but we're here spending time talking about watches, right? And this is what fuels our passion. So each of those patterns represents every individual out there, every group out there, every community out there that's either enthusiast, a collector, or a hobbyist, or that's someone that's, standing from a distance but looking to get into watches and horology. And so there was several designs at first when it came out, but this is the most organic one that we came to agreeing on because the first couple of ones we thought were too clinical, very angular, very sharp, and there wasn't any harmony in it. But now you can see from the dial that it's more organic. There's more design, there's more thought behind it, and it all kind of comes together a lot more. And I think it's easier on the eye compared to previous versions. Obviously, you can't see our previous prototype, but I can tell you that it was way more angular and way more sharp. And we didn't want to have that feeling when someone saw it. Oh, yeah, it's sharp,
Yeah.
it's angular. We want it to be, warm. We want it to be inclusive. We want it to be, you look at it and it's easy on the eye. So again, it goes back to representing the community, representing, that we're all inclusive. We're all in this kind of together for watches. So then, as you see from the pattern itself, there's some small intersecting circles that connects them as well. So those small intersecting circles, once you see it, you can't unsee it kind of thing, right? So those small intersecting circles represent the local ecosystems, the local communities that we all thrive in, that we all spend our time in. So here in Hong Kong, we have Watch Hong Co. In Perth, you have Red Bar. Mainland China, they have, a different community. And that's what represents, those small circles. It also represents collecting styles. So, I like vintage, neo-vintage indies. The other circles represent, vintage Rolex. They represent Grand Seikos. They represent Japanese watches. So each of our own tastes, because no two collectors are alike. And just like the dials for this particular watch, no two dials are alike too, because it's natural black Tahitian MOP. All right. So then you have those small intersecting circles, right, that I talked about. But then the dial itself, the bigger circle, right, represents the global watch community. So it all encompasses everything good that's inside that dial there. So like now, again, watches, horology transcends distance, transcends time. Look at us again, going back to this example. You're thousands of miles away. The guys are maybe 100 miles away, but we're all here again connected, you know? So we all live on Instagram, on YouTube, watching all this. We could, you know, message each other within a couple of clicks. We're in contact. We can ask people to check out different watches. Like before we're waiting on the guys, we talked about tagging and commenting on Instagram. So that's what the bigger circle represents, you know, and it all comes back to community, inclusivity, and being part of something that's really special and what we're all passionate about, which is horology.
That was amazing. And the whole time I just wanted to clarify to everyone here that I kept looking down is because I was looking at the dial the entire time while Jackie explained each section. And to be honest, you really need to look at this dial as you listen to the description, and it all makes sense. It all comes together so fluidly. It all just comes together. So yeah, well said.
Sure, thank you. And then
Um,
also one thing we didn't mention as well in the dial is the hands. So they're shaped swords, right? So they're sword hands, which is on theme with body armor. But it doesn't mean we need protection, or it doesn't mean we're preparing for combat or to fight or anything, but actually it has another meaning. It means that our community is a safe space. Again, we go back to inclusivity, community, and that we welcome everyone with different tastes, different collecting styles, and there's no judgment whatsoever. And that it goes back to, again, I don't know if I mentioned this, but our club motto is good vibes only. So again, this goes back again to marrying the whole thing together, putting together this whole concept and meaning together. So little by little, it just goes back to the overall concept and values and principles that we have.
No, yeah, that I mean you didn't mention that before, but I did know that about the club, and that is also a little tidbit on the caseback, which we'll go
Hmm.
into which we'll go
Hmm.
into in a minute. And yeah, it must say, I mean the sword hands is slightly skeletonized as well. So
Hmm.
yeah, it doesn't feel like you say, it doesn't feel fierce. It feels it's there, it's present, but it's not in your face.
Yeah.
That makes
And
sense.
a skeletonized because it means that it's transparent. So everyone, like the community, should be transparent too. There should be no hidden agendas or anything like that whatsoever. So it's like see-through. Everyone is there, you know, for the same passion.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, yeah. I am a little quiet. It's because I'm actually stunned, and it is such a great story, and it's great to see. I mean, you do hear a lot of stories, right? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going away from the script, moving away from the scripted
Mm,
touch, but you hear a lot of stories in watch releases, in press releases of many different brands. Some believable, some not so believable,
mm.
but very not very often you do hear stories where you're like, wow, it all makes sense. It's all coming together, and this is definitely one of those stories. So well done to
Cheers. Thank you. I appreciate it.
and of course, there's a lot that goes into this process, and maybe this is something that I would like to tap into, Leo and Kristine. So the dial itself, right? This Tahitian black mother of pearl dial, and this sort of intricate CNC guilloché pattern. I mean, this must be hard. I mean, is there a high failure rate with these things? Or I mean, it must be tough getting this right.
True, true, true. Yeah, we first like look into this specific technique on the model pro. It wasn't easy because when we first to start to explore this technique on the model pro, we don't really find many sources that we could find online or from other brands. So we have to experience with our supplier and to test it. And it took me like more than a year for me to launch the M1 Moonphase. So yeah, it wasn't easy, and the failure rate, yeah, is really high because during the brittle the characteristic of the Model Pro, I would say minimum like 30% just during the in the making. And after that, when we do the inspection on the dial, because we will inspect like under like I'm not sure about the times of the magnification of the glass that we use,
Hmm.
but like more than like 50 times. And when we look into it, it still got some cracks, which is couldn't be found under our supplier. And so we have to see it through when we do the inspection and during the cleaning process or like the quality control and so on and so on. So yeah, but we are really happy about like how it turns out because when you log into it and you can see through like whatever you want to use and you can see how amazing the texture, the pattern on the dial, and it looks so like three-dimensional, but it's just a flat with a 0.06 millimeters depth on the
on each
pattern.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So to
Wow.
create the illusion of the optical illusion is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more thing that I need to mention is that on the dial of jerk, it's actually a lot harder to do than our M1 Moonphase. So the pattern is a
True.
lot more complicated compared to our M1. And then we had to go through multiple QC process to clean within the dial because with that 0.06 depths, so each groove needs to be cleaned under a fire.
Microscope. Yeah.
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 Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Proper.
So yeah, so I think we went through like at least 4 times before assembling the
Wow.
dial. So you need to really deep clean it, and then you need to spot clean to get rid of any dust, any, unwanted particles on there. So we did a really thorough QC on all our jury dials. Yeah.
This process will be done by the factory, but
No, we did it
yeah,
in-house. We did it in-house. So we both take a few rounds of cleaning and we also have people to clean it in our studio. So to make sure that everything is, intact and there's no further damage on the dial as well. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. That is some detail, some quality that's gone into it. So amazing to hear. And I mean, look, the finished product is fantastic. I can be testament of that.
Also, as well, isn't this correct that before it even goes to that stage, that you handpicked all the natural black Tahitian MOPs, each piece, to make sure the patterns, the textures, and also the colors are the ones that we want?
Yes, exactly. We need to do that as well. So there's like a first selection. So the supplier, we told them to select the dial pattern that we wanted to us. And then we do another handpicked when we receive all the raw
Mm.
material, and then it gets polished and then it goes on CNC. So there's a lot of, preparations before we even get to CNC and then and after CNC, following up with the, deep cleaning QC and then dust removed and all that.
So a lot of people don't realize and don't see are all these steps that the guys had to go through personally, check QC, choose selection, all these things, that because a lot of people think that it's just okay, you find a source to buy the MOPs, you tell them what you want to do, you buy them in, you basically don't even see them, and they ship them to the factory that does the CNC, and then they give you the dials when they're all assembled. So it's actually not. So there's actually a lot of layers, a lot of time, and that the guys have to personally, get their hands dirty, literally, and to spend hours under looking into a microscope, etc., before all the dials are then okayed, approved, and then they're assembled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think it's watch enthusiasts. I think sometimes or watch collectors, we can get a bit removed from that process. I think we just look at a website and we go, oh, that looks cool, and we click, and you don't realize how much work goes into it. I mean, it's hard enough doing any sort of stuff, but this is just that's that extra level of care and quality that's gone into it. So fantastic. All right. Well, we've talked about the front of the watch. Let's flip it over now and let's talk about the back. We sort of started, you mentioned before about your club motto, which is good vibes only, which is etched on the case back itself is an NWH&C, which is Watch and Co. Of course, we've got second year anniversary, and that's just the case back itself. But then you obviously see the display case back, and you've got this custom rotor, which is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'll just love to know a little bit more about it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's actually a good question. Many people don't know that actually that design, that logo, that was our original logo for our brand when we first started the Series 00, and it's a Celtic symbol, yeah, called Trinity knot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you see it, you get this design is formed by feature with a three interlocking loops. So it's like we want to like meaning we want to build a connection between like the brands, the enthusiastic, also as well as the watch community. Like the idea that like Jackie wants to brings out with this collaboration. So this also our like original force. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a happy accident. Yeah.
If you're into microbrand and independent watches, which you clearly are as you're listening to this podcast, you got to check out Watchpoint. Watchpoint is the newest destination in Melbourne, Australia for microbrand and independent watches. But it's more than just a brick and mortar store. It's a hub for watch enthusiasts. Come check out brands such as HZ, Bazel, Second Hour, RZE, and Monbray, and other exciting watches you won't find anywhere else. Watchpoint is also your go-to website for buying said watches, exploring microbrand profiles, discovering new releases, and staying informed with editorials, industry insights, and buying guides. So if you're keen on trying out your favorite microbrand watches, drop into Shop 304, Level 3, the Block Arcade on Collins Street, or visit watchpoint.com.au or check them out on Instagram at watchpoint.au for more.
And also inspired by, like the guy said, by Irish Celtic design, which I'm a Hong Konger. I was born in Hong Kong, but I actually grew up in Ireland. So there you go. So even another, very special tidbit for you there is how, this collaboration and partnership was meant to happen.
Yeah, for sure. So it was, it was a very happy accident indeed. Then that's fantastic. No, it's great. Now obviously we talked about the on the back of the watch, and then once I do flip it over, I do see the underside of the very beautiful French Epsom leather. So I'll go back to the front. It's a beautiful taupe. I would say, is that a taupe? Taupe, a colored French Epsom by Has No Bounds, of course, and a beautiful green goat skin lining. So I'd like to know what was the reasoning behind, I guess, going with this particular strap, and was it the conscious choice to sort of follow through with the case and the colors? Of course, I need to talk about the color. Why the green on the underside?
Okay, so I'll start with the accent letters on the front. So we wanted something neutral, like a beigey top color, so not to overpower the dial because we want the dial to shine. We don't want to steal the thunder of the dial, so we go with a beigey color, so it's easier on the eyes, just like Jackie said on the dial pattern. So we want everything to flow naturally. It's unisex, so men and women can both wear it. So that's our first choice. And then the underlining in a green gold skin, it was actually because of Watch and Co's club color is green. So naturally we chose a green gold skin leather as the lining to tie up the whole design. And if you look closer on the case, there's actually the case back. So there's actually a Chinese saying there. Probably you can't read, but it means 最人最事最人最事最故事. So that actually means
Gather people.
to gather people, a place where time, sorry, what?
Yeah, gather people.
A place where people, time, and stories come together.
Together, yeah.
Fantastic.
So if you can see, if you're looking at it there, Praka, it's at 12 o'clock.
Yes, it's the green text at 12 o'clock. Yes, I can see that.
Exactly. Again, it's green text to the same color as the goat skin lining, same as our club colors. And also, this very special phrase is we have to give credit to Kristine. So the watch is called Joy, right? So did we actually explain what joy means? So joy in Cantonese or in Chinese means, to meet or to gather. So again, we
Uh,
go back to, why we here, we're constantly meeting, you know, different enthusiasts and collectors within the community. We make time for each other and we create stories too. So that's a really powerful and yet significant, really, really means a lot to all of us, and I think can resonate with anyone who collects not just watches, but anything really, right? Any type of collection, you that would resonate, or it would pull at your heartstrings, goes, you know what, I know what that means, because like, you go to a place where people, time, and then stories come together, so it goes back to my original conversation about, community, inclusivity, and
mm.
the passion for watch collecting and this crazy hobby of ours.
I love it. I love how it all ties together. It's fantastic. I'm gonna have to make sure I get that exact saying written, the translation written in the show notes for the listeners, because it is beautiful. And
Yeah,
even
sure, it's
yeah,
there. Yeah, it's in the presser. It's in the presser. It has it there.
it sure is. And I'll also write the
Yeah.
Cantonese text in there as well for the listeners who can understand it. So yeah,
Yeah, for
fantastic.
sure. Cheers. And also,
Fantastic.
just one other thing, we go back onto the actual dial. Do you see the chapter ring? If you're looking at the chapter ring, right, where the indices are, right?
I can see
So you
that.
see
Yep.
their dot indices, right? But then if you look at 2 o'clock, it's not a
Mm.
dot. What is it?
It's two lines. It looks one
Yes,
short, one long. It looks like a
yes,
Chinese character.
yes. So in Chinese, it means two.
Ah,
So again, it goes back to, as a very subtle nod or tribute to the second anniversary. Yeah. And if you look even closer again, you might need it under a loop or certain lighting. The indices are actually green. They're not black. Yeah. You can only see it in certain color or certain lighting. Sorry, not certain color, in certain lighting, or that it's actually green. And it matches the green on the underside with the Chinese phrase and also the green goat skin.
yes, I did notice that today when I was out for a quick walk
Hmm.
in the brief sunlight that we had, brief sunshine that we
Hmm.
had today. I did notice the green came alive in the sun. But yes, it's it graduates between that darker shade of green, almost
Hmm.
black, and then when it's in the
Yeah,
sun, it's in the right light, you can see that.
it
And of
lights up.
course, it lights up for sure. And I mean, I guess going back to the minute track as well, this is a watch where it's all about the dial, right? Everything in the story.
Hmm.
And so there isn't any indices as such, traditional. But in saying that, it's actually very easy to read the time. I mean, the minute track and you've got the hours as well within that minute track. It just,
Hmm.
yeah, it is actually super simple to read the time. So yes, I'll just add that there. It is.
Yeah, so legibility was really key consideration for us. We went through 4 or 5 sets of hands. And also at first when we agreed to this, I actually didn't want a chapter ring. I didn't want a minute track because I didn't want it to take away from the dial. But that didn't work because it just looked, you couldn't read the time, number one,
Mm.
and it was, something was missing. So we added back in the minute track, and going about the sword hand as well. We tried polished, we tried, what was the other one? Matte, was it?
Brush, yeah.
Symbolist.
And we tried half and half of one of the other, but it was still wasn't legible. And the best legibility we got was the end result, which you're looking at, which is frosted. So from whatever angle you look at it, from whatever lighting, you still get 360 degrees of legibility with the hand. So, while the dial is very cool, it's very attractive, it's a feast for the eyes. At the end of the day, you still need to be able to tell the time.
Yep. Yeah. Well said. I have seen other watches that look visually stunning, but it's hard to tell the time. But this is, yeah, you're right. Again, listeners, I have this watch in my hand. So everything that Jackie, Kristine, and Leo are telling me, I am just, looking at it as So I'm confirming, making sure everything is factual. No, I'm joking. It definitely is, and yeah, it is. The legibility is there at any angle. You can read the time, so definitely not wrong there. Great choice on the handset, by the way. Fantastic.
Cheers.
All right, now, is there anything else that I missed about the watch itself? I think we've covered most of it. So we'll get in some of these other smaller questions here, which is moving aside from the watch release itself. So Jackie, what's next for
Hmm.
Watchful& Co? I mean, year two, you've had two great collaborative launches. What can we expect in year three?
Funny you asked that because we haven't even launched the Joy, and our second anniversary party is next week, so we're what, 9 days out. But I'm already in talks or kicked off discussions for our third anniversary watch already. So yeah, so that's taking place right now. And what's in store for us? I think we'll continue to do what we're good at, is to host and organize fun, inclusive, and interesting get-togethers for everyone here in Hong Kong.
Mhm.
And we've done a few overseas one in Bangkok and Vietnam and Singapore, etc. So I just did one recently in Tokyo, and I'm going to Kuala Lumpur on Thursday now as well. So doing a little bit of a mini tour with the watch. But we'll continue to doing those because it brings people together. It brings new people looking from the outside in, who might feel nervous, who might feel a little bit, intimidated to come to these places, that they'll finally join and see that, it's actually very welcoming. There's nothing to be worried about. There's collectors of all levels. There's watches of all price ranges. And is that, everyone that you meet there is friendly, is chatty, and it's an interesting group and fun group to hang out with. We'll probably do more kind of info sessions instead of just get-togethers where we're doing wrist shots and passing around each other's watches. We'll probably do some educational sessions with the brands. We'll probably do some hands-on courses too in terms of movements. And I think education is key. We collaborate with a lot of brands, and I say to them, look, it's all good and well, inviting people when you have launches, and then whining and dining them and getting them to take wrist shots and posting about you. But at the end of the day, people will gravitate, or people will buy your watches if they understand what your brand means. They understand what you do, how you do it, why you do it, and the things that you go through to produce the watch, right? So some of the execs of some of the brands that we collaborate with, I've asked them to come over at least twice a year and, meet with the local collectors, because, sometimes the bigger brands, you'll never get a chance to do that. You get it to do it with micro brands like Selten, you get it to do it with the other indies too. They're much more receptive, much more open to meeting the collectors themselves in person. And I think we all, people buy people. And if you build a relationship, or if you take time to meet and speak with people and to hear what people have to say about your product, take in feedback, whether it's, positive or negative, or it's constructive. I think it's important for a brand to have that humility to listen to those comments, because at the end of the day, we are the target market. So if you don't listen, or you don't come across or to be seen to listen to us, then I don't think you're going to improve, or you're not going to gain more followers, not followers, but gain more end users, put it that way,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So, you might not make the sale instantly, but I think people will always, appreciate and respect you taking the time out to meet them and speak to them. And then maybe in the future that, some of the feedback might be in a watch that resonate or that they like, and they end up buying it for that. It might be 6 months down the line, might be a year or 2 years, but you plant the seed there, and then you watch it grow, and then eventually, then someday it might be fruitful, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. No, well said. I think having those sessions with brands and especially like you say, micro brands like Selton and independent brands that there's so much more. I mean, that's my experience too. They're very receptive to engaging with the community and having those kind of discussions, taking critical feedback and telling their story. I think it's important. I think it's very important to tell the story. And we started talking about this, Jackie, before the podcast recording started as well. I mean, that's kind of why
Mm.
I do what I do as well, is I love engaging and listening to people's stories. So great. Fantastic, great to see. And I've noticed as well that you didn't mention anything about who it's going to be with and stuff, and I completely understand that. So I won't poke anymore about year three.
I
Uh,
guess we'll be back, tune in same time next year.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's lock that in. Let's lock that in.
All right.
All right. Okay. Look, of course, got to talk about you guys, Selton, and yourself as well, Christine. So, you know, your mother of pearl dials, which you've got on at the moment, the M1 Moonphase, is where we first saw those CNC guilloché patterns, and now obviously the stunning Grand View enamel series, which is like super cool. There's not many people out there doing what you're doing and also doing what you're doing at the price level that you're doing it as well. It's another feat in itself. What's next for you guys?
Yeah, as you mentioned, the last launch was a is the Greenfield Enamel series, and we have prepared that launch for like over a year now because we need to like pre-made the dial beforehand so we could like deliver the watches to our customer like just right away when they place the order as soon as possible. So we don't want to have like more many like the waiting time for the
Mm,
customer. So and we finally also we talked into to our like brand new enamel master, yeah, Mr. Chin. So now he opens a workshop with us, a enamel workshop. So that he mainly just do the dial for us right now. And we will see in the future, we may have like more closer collaboration with our master to explore more doing the dial in different enamel technique like croissant, chanloupe, yeah, etc. and etc. So yeah, and we are super excited about this workshop that we open together so we could like to build up the closer monitor and more experience with our masters and also as well as yeah the efficiency or yeah because before that our master he was working for a jewelry house and he didn't really got enough time for us though he as much as he wants to but just didn't allow him to do so. So yep, and he is so like into the Grand Prix enamel and especially he want to challenge himself to do some like difficult task like doing the enamel dial because he told us when you do the enamel on the jewelry is compared to doing the enamel on dial is two different like field. It's
Levels.
yep, two
sure.
different levels, completely different. For him, like doing the enamel on the jewelry is like he can't find a
Not as
order.
challenging, maybe. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because in our like doing the watch dial, precision is everything. Like even like 0.1 or 0.01 millimeters is all matters in the watch dial in order watchmaking. So yeah, he is as excited as we are now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that will be our like one of our main focus in the future. Yeah, in the coming year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I got 2 points there I wanted to make. So it's really cool to see that you had those Grand Few enamels ready to go because I have seen other watch brands because it is a lengthy process, right? It takes a long time. I mean, like this intricate dial that's in front of me as well. That's also intricate as long process to get to where it gets to. So having all those dials pre-prepared, ready to go must have been a big sunken cost as well. But obviously, you believed in it and you say this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the other thing you wanted to touch on as well is, and I can draw a parallel what Jackie said as well, is building up that level, that education, or building up that sort of expertise. You know, having you're saying, okay, we've got Mr. Chin now with the enamel workshop, and this is someone that yes, we can work with, yes, we can, you know, for the future, but also you're building up that expertise for the future watch for the future watch industry, but also the how do you say it, end consumers to also enjoy. And it's very much the same thing as what you're saying as well, Jackie. You know, having people educated, having people involved in the process itself is more so than just saying, "Wow, look at this watch." You know, there's more to it, and yeah, I think it's great that that investment has gone in. Awesome. And yourself, Christine, you know, I've seen some really cool watch straps. You know, any more exotics or anything like that that you're planning on adding into Selten's future Grand Few enamels?
Yes, we talked about it the other day actually on exotic leathers because I don't offer exotic leathers on my regular ready to
Hmm.
wear versions, but I do have custom, bespoke straps. So on that allows my customers to purchase, exotics, mainly alligators and lizard. So we had that, and we will definitely,
Yeah, I need
think
to
of it
invest in her
in,
business. Yeah.
yeah, he never paid me back the strap money, so he
Yeah.
just took from whatever it's in on the inventory. But I helped style his watches a little bit. So yeah, we'll see what's available in the near future on his new models. Because he
Yeah.
got a lot in his pipeline with different materials and techniques on on the dial and on the watch cases as well. So stay
Fantastic.
tuned.
Stay
Yeah.
tuned. I like it. I like it. You're getting called out live on the podcast, Leo. No. Oh, that's great. That's great. It's great to hear a formidable team working together to get some awesome watches out. Cool. All right. Well, that's kind of come to the end of all of our questions for today. So, I guess before we get into the something interesting portion of the podcast, listeners, I will leave all the information in the show notes, of course. When this episode gets released, the watch itself will be released, and it will have the link to purchase the watch as well, and it's going to be on a pre-order period on the 11 p.m. on Hong Kong time on the 13th of August for 72 hours. And the price, drum roll please, is 1,099 US dollars. And it is a limited edition. So once this pre-order period finishes up and the production's complete, there'll be no further pieces that'll be made in this configuration again. So it's something super special.
Yes, correct. And yeah, I think you've covered it all there, and we're just really excited for to launch and see what the feedback is like from everyone. Because at the end of the day, like we go back to it, it's not about sales, it's not about the profits, about what feedback people give us, you know. So I'm sure, you can't please everyone, but I'm interested to hear how people what the feedback is how we could have done things differently or how we could have improved the watch, because we've taken so much time to try and create all these elements and try to tie them together, marry them together, yet we want it to be subtle. So it'd be interesting to hear what other people think of it, or maybe they can, tell us something that we missed or that we didn't think of.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty hard. There's a lot of thought gone into this, I must say. And one thing I sort of didn't really mention is, of course, I've been wearing it for the last couple of days. It wears really well, wears really beautifully. I didn't really go into the dimensions a lot. This
Mm,
is generally what it's a 39 mil case, and it's only nine and a half, sorry, 9.95 mil thick. So it wears
yeah.
beautifully. 45 and a half mil lug to lug, and of course 20 mil lug width. So it's going to wear really well on most wrists, whether you have small wrists, whether you have a large wrist. It's sort of that Goldilocks sweet spot.
Mhm. And it's the again case size and dimensions that I wanted to wear because I like slim watches. So I tasked Leo and I said, no, I said, I don't want the Moonphase because it's going to be a certain thickness. So, but I want it to be time only and we need it under 10. So he delivered on all those elements. So we have it at like, a very slim 9.95 mm. And as you say, wears well on the wrist beautifully, hugs the wrist. There's no lug flare. And yeah, when you look down on the dial, it's dreamy.
No, well done, team. You guys did a great job there. All right. Let's I think we'll wrap up all the questions and
Oh,
everything else for yeah.
before you do,
Yes, tell me.
I want to, because you pronounced. Do you remember how to pronounce it now?
You're putting me on the spot. It is
Yeah.
the Jew
So joy with a
joy
U. Joy.
joy
Joy. Okay. So now
joy.
I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
you to say the Chinese phrase with me, okay, before we end the podcast. All
Sounds
right.
good. Yep.
All right.
Everything that
So follow me. Okay. So the name is Joy, right? So the first word is Joy.
Joy. Yeah.
So
Joy.
say after me, okay?
Yeah.
Joy Yan.
Joy Yan.
Joy Si.
Joy C.
Joy Gu Si.
Joy Go C.
Okay,
excellent.
let's go a little bit. Let it go a little bit faster this time. Joy Yan.
Joy Yan.
Joy Si.
Joy C.
Joy Gu Si.
Joy Go C.
Okay, let's go now. Now try and say it yourself.
Joy Yan. Joy C.
Yeah.
Joy Go C.
Wow. Amazing. That was really, really good. I'm not just exaggerating. That was really good, Praka. Well done. I
Thank
told
you.
you'd be fluent in Cantonese after this podcast, didn't I?
You
Very
weren't
good.
kidding. You weren't kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Brilliant. Thanks so much for having us, Praka. It's time has flown by and it's like I really, really enjoy talking to you. And it's again, it's always a pleasure. It's always an honor to speak to someone that, understands, has the same passion, you know, these little small little details resonate with, like-minded people. So yeah, we hope you can visit Hong Kong sometime and join our events. And maybe one day if I'm over in Oz, I'll definitely look you up. But thank you so much again for having us at this short notice. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we can do more podcasts in the future
For sure,
with
for
you.
sure, for sure. I'll be glad to have you guys on. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I've never had that happen before in the podcast. Getting a lesson, getting a language lesson, and I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Look,
Cool.
normally I do wrap up with a bit of a something interesting. Now we don't have to because we have gone
Hmm.
into. I think that was something interesting in itself, what we just
For
did.
sure. Yeah.
But if there's anything that you guys want to bring up, please feel free. So I'll go to
I go
Kristine.
go I yeah,
You
go
go.
to Leon, Christine. I brought up something interesting with you there already.
Yeah.
So what interests you recently?
We should book a trip to Australia next year.
Right,
Hey,
right.
nice. Come and go to Melbourne, go to Sydney, Melbourne, and
Yeah,
then come across to the West Coast, and then you can go back to Hong Kong. How's that sound?
yeah, that's
Sounds great.
yeah.
Because we actually schedule a trip before COVID, and then COVID we had to cancel. So yeah, we'll definitely go next year.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
fantastic! Like I said, if you did come to Perth, hit me up. Well, sure. We don't have a lot of what stuff happening in terms of shops and stuff, but we definitely have a great community here. So yeah. Not as big as Hong
Awesome.
Kong, definitely.
Oh, quality over quantity anytime.
Touche, touche. All right.
Yes.
Look, something interesting. I had something, but to be honest, it's not interesting at all after what we just did. What we just had that was a little language lesson. But I must say, but I will take up that opportunity. If I do come down to Hong Kong, we'll definitely catch up. But last time
For sure.
I was in Hong Kong not long ago. It was just a layover, though. Unfortunately, I was only there
Mhm.
for a short period. I think I was there for about 9 hours. I did manage to
Mm.
catch up with another Hong Kong brand, actually. Shout out to Austin from Monbray. I had a quick catch up with him. Had some dim sum. It was fantastic. Some solid dumplings, noodles, rice, everything was perfect. And then obviously I had to head off to my final destination from there. So anyway, that's my little something interesting. Nothing crazy interesting, but it
Cool.
was fun.
Good stuff.
Cool. All right. So that's it. we've come to the end of the episode. I had such a fantastic time talking with you all. I hope you guys had a great time as well.
Likewise. Likewise.
And
Oh, yeah.
if there's nothing else, thank you very much. And we'll wrap it up there. Cheers.
That's it. Wish us luck.
You know, if it's just by the watch itself and the story itself, you don't need much luck at all. I'm telling you, it's fantastic.
Thank you for giving us the platform to tell our story, Praka. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Cheers.
Keep in touch, mate. All the best. Take care.
Sure. Thank you. Cheers, guys. Thank
Bye.
you for listening to Overtime
Bye-bye.
the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. You can find us on our Instagram at Overtime the Podcast, at Kinda Average Watches, or flick me an email on overtimethepod@gmail.com. I appreciate your support and value your feedback. If you have any questions, suggestions, or topics that you would like the podcast to cover in the future, please hit us up. Until next time.